In our news bulletin for this evening, Rocket Systems comply with government request and switched off international links and internet yesterday. The New Zealand Labour Party have requested that the Auditor General investigate a multi-million-dollar hotel deal in Niue. The New Zealand High Commission is concerned about the lack of completed applications in Niue for New Zealand Aid scholarships. Youth training looks at developing and incorporating social media skills to build resilient agriculture. Rocket Systems ceased operations and switched off its international links and local Wi-Fi services yesterday morning, leaving businesses and private customers in the lurch. The decision was made following a stern warning from government for Rocket Systems to cease operations and services. Rocket Systems complied with government's request to cease operations, switching off its international links and local Wi-Fi services. And over the weekend, Rocket Systems had sent a notice to its customers via email and social media, informing them of the recent developments.
So in terms of what the document said, we went and we consulted some legal people, and basically the letter said to cease services. So we did just that. Due to the contents of the communication or correspondence from government, it was basically threatening us with legal action, and perhaps based on the act itself, to be fined. So we didn't want to find ourselves in that peculiar situation. So we decided to comply with that directive and turn it off. So in terms of what needs to be done next, we're basically waiting for government to direct us in what to do. And there's only two things to happen. It's either they will just continue to tell us keep it off, or we just need a letter from them that says turn it on, and we'll turn it on and everything goes back to normal. So everyone, I guess, including us, is waiting for government.
Contrary to comments made, government indicated that it had not directed Rocket Systems to cease providing Wi-Fi immediately. The government's request was to cease providing a Wi-Fi service for which a charge will be made to users. The unilateral withdrawal of free Wi-Fi services previously being provided and its replacement with a service for which a charge is being made, according to government, adversely affects the people of Niue, and the government needed to address that. They went on to say in their media release that for any offering of a Wi-Fi service on a chargeable base, any expansion of Rocket Systems activities and into other telecom products must comply with the applicable Niue law. No application was made for requisite approvals to conduct such services.
In all these years that we've been operating as a ISP, Telecom Niue has been issuing us with invoices to pay for our VSAT, which is a satellite, as well as wireless links. We have been paying those annually, and other than that, I have asked for a second opinion on whether there is any provision for an ISP license. And there isn't any, and I've also read the Act. There's nothing that says that we need a license to be able to operate as an ISP. We have a company registration, a business license, as well as paying for so many years of licenses to operate frequencies. Other than that, I don't know of any other license that we need to pay, and I've been asking clarification to government to please let us know which license is it, and also to provide us, if there is one, with a form that we can apply for this license.
In a press release that was released by government, it showed that they were deeply concerned with Rocket Systems' announcement that it would terminate free internet services that is provided to the people of Niue under an arrangement with the Internet Users Society of Niue.
The free Wi-Fi that they mention is based on, I guess, the MOU between government and IUSN. So to differentiate or to explain a little bit about it, IUSN is a funding organization that provides funding for the satellite bandwidth. As a ISP owner, Rocket, operates the ISP on Niue. So there's a difference when they are asking us to, as our application, to provide free Wi-Fi. We do not have any application from Rocket to the government of Niue because we have no agreements with them to offer free Wi-Fi services. On the same token, IUSN is still paying for the satellite bandwidth of $150,000. So for them, they're actually keeping up and honoring their part of that MOU to provide some kind of form of internet service to the people of Niue. So for us to be able to charge people at $50 for 10 GB per month, that cost is actually subsidized by IUSN because we are not actually paying for satellite bandwidth. So our part is being subsidized. Our revenue generated will just go into providing a better service to the people in terms of local operational costs. So that's basically it. There's a difference between IUSN, who's offshore and provides funding for satellite bandwidth, as compared to Rocket, who's a local company that provides Wi-Fi and internet service to the people. So we do not have any application whatsoever to government, but we offer the service to the people.
The shutdown of services yesterday left the business sector at a loss. In a statement posted on social media, the Chamber of Commerce opened up a forum for healthy debate about how this move would affect those in the private sector. The Niue Chamber of Commerce is an organization that is meant to be acting on behalf of businesses, and they met urgently yesterday to discuss the issue and what it would mean for their members who relied heavily on Wi-Fi internet.
It wasn't so much the disruption to access to the internet, but it was the fact that we could not access our emails, which are on the other network, which is the Niue.nu. And yeah, we could access the internet, but we can't have access to our emails, which had all our networks and all our communications with our overseas suppliers and our local stakeholders as well, clients. That was an inconvenience. And in this day and age, we shouldn't really be put in that sort of position where everything is just stopped all of a sudden.
The general reaction from the business community, are all disappointed, as a lot of things, it affects bookings of accommodations and just the general business using Wi-Fi. At the moment, business people doesn't have much choice except the ADSL, which is expensive, and with the Wi-Fi cut off, it affects the businesses, financially, and also a lot of people were really disappointed and emotionally not happy with government.
The situation meant that for most of yesterday, Rocket Systems customers had no email access, no internet banking, no immediate communication with suppliers and customers both locally and internationally. Internet was restored last night while government and Rocket Systems continue discussions to reach an amicable decision. The multi-million-dollar Scenic Hotel management deal in Niue is being questioned by the Labour Party in New Zealand. The call for an investigation by the Auditor General has been put forward as it has emerged that the founder of the Scenic Hotel chain that won the contract gave over $100,000 to the National Party before elections in 2014. NZ aid money has been poured into developments over the past few years, and Labour wants to find out whether the large donation helped secure a major contract to run the resort. Labour Party leader Andrew Little says that there are too many coincidences to explain this as sheer good luck. Foreign Affairs Minister Murray McCully, who was responsible for appointing trustees, says that he is adamant that there is no link between the contract going to Scenic Hotels. Scenic Group Managing Director Brendan Taylor also said that the donation was a private matter and this has been blown out of proportion. The New Zealand government is confident the deal is clean, but Labour says New Zealanders need assurances, considering NZ money has been used in this deal. The New Zealand High Commission Office has voiced some concerns about the lack of applications for this year's round of scholarship applications. Each year, the New Zealand Aid Programme offers a series of scholarships to people from around the Pacific for further studies. This year, an online portal was introduced to make application processes more accessible.
Well, New Zealand gives 5 scholarships each year that are aligned with the priority sectors that the Government of Niue identifies. The scholarship applications, they close at the end of this calendar month. Currently we have 1 completed application. We have any number of applications that are within the online system, but they are not completed. So given that we only have 10 or 12 days left for the end of the month, I just wanted to highlight to those that have made applications that are partially completed that time is now against them and they must get their online applications completed urgently. Well, I would imagine that we've had this concern raised with us before, but the priority sectors are set by the Government of Niue. But the Government of New Zealand, through the scholarships program, would be more than happy to look at those priority sectors with the government, and if they need to be realigned, we'd be happy to do that. But that's a Government of Niue initiative. They identify where they need positions, and they focus the scholarships on those particular areas. But as I say, if they want to change them, that's a conversation that we're very happy to have.
The New Zealand Pacific Scholarship and New Zealand Regional Development Scholarships are available at degree, certificate, diploma level and short-term training as well, but criteria set out is applicable across the board.
Everybody across the Pacific is dealing with the same application system. It's an online process. It seems to be working fairly good across the other sectors. If people are having trouble with connectivity, as I've said, happy to come down to the High Commission and use our systems here as an interim measure.
Application for the New Zealand scholarships closed on the 30th of April, and the New Zealand High Commission are hoping that more people are able to complete their applications. Developing skills that will incorporate social media into building resilient agriculture is one of the objectives of a youth training that is being held at the Niue Golf and Sports Club this week. Niue is one of 3 countries that will be part of the project to upskill young people to develop skills in social media applications for collection of stories that build resilient agriculture in light of climate change.
We need to have more youth engaged in farming, so that is why we have also opened up the training to include the younger children. Maybe we can intervene at an early age, at an age where their mind is not, made up about what type of careers they want in life. We want to sort of entice them into farming. But it's a viable career option. And so if they can, use the skills from the workshop like Web 2.0 skills, skills of marketing their product on the internet and reaching out to 1 billion consumers, if they can use that and actually make a good income out of it, then we can demonstrate that farming is a viable career option and that it's not always becoming a doctor and becoming a teacher that earns the income. It's actually farming, and it's an honorable way of life. It's the Pacific inheritance, and so we want to have our youths back into farming, and so we're trying to intervene as well at an early age. And so you see there's a lot of young kids. This project, in working with youth to develop the skills, also works with youth in helping them capture climate resilient practices. For instance, in farming, what are some climate resilient practices that we have, especially because climate change is the biggest challenge in the Pacific today, and farming is our way of life, farming is our food, farming is our sustenance, our livelihood.
This project also works with another project by NIOFA that is funded by IFAD that works with farmers building resilience practices. Creative learning aspects within this particular workshop will enable participants to become storytellers in climate change resilient agriculture, looking at alternatives like organic farming.
I think in the islands it's actually a heightened level compared to other countries. It's something we often talk about, and then we've got lots of examples for climate change in these countries, like sea level rising, bleached coral. We've got a lot of cyclones happening now, and these are the things that these young teenagers that have actually experienced themselves. So I think just imagining it on a big global scale, that's for them, to take it a little bit wider. And then at the same time reducing it to what's happening in the family home, how are they contributing individually to climate change. And it's just through some responsible behaviour. Don't burn your rubbish, or, like don't waste water, or I guess doing things that individually we can say that we're contributing to a better environment. Yeah. I guess by the end of it, this team of young people will be able to not just be storytellers, but they'll be using social media to tell that story. So they'll be using the normal platforms of Facebook or Instagram and that. But we're actually teaching them how to be sort of backyard historians, backyard scientists. And so that's our end goal, to get kids to sort of view climate change as something that they can actually have a role in solving. And how can they look at farming and see the farming for all the exciting possibilities that it is. The young people today and throughout the week are going to come up with solutions that they'd like to try out. And, so for instance, some of the young people are saying, well, what if we had bikes? What if we biked and we didn't use cars? What if we could stop burning at home? And we know that's a conversation with their parents. So I think it's letting them try to actually develop some of these solutions and just giving youth that sense of empowerment. Because if they do that, they'll try more things. And so really that's, if I think it's a community who's going to offer support, it's allowing them to try the solutions that they're going to come up with.
Another team are expected to arrive later in the year to implement an IFAD project to do soil testing. The learning from this project will also complement another project that is being implemented at the same time. This youth workshop is open and will conclude on Thursday. And that concludes our news bulletin for this evening. Do join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.